I know that you've probably been making a few changes to yourself. Some of them you may not understand, and sometimes the people around us may not even realize. But I promise you, it pays off in the end. And you never know, you might really, really appreciate the fact that you connected with yourself in a different way, and here you are reaping the benefits of it. I want to thank you for being here. I know that, again, this journey is not as simple as it seems, because no, we're not doing a rediscovery of ourselves. We were never lost. It's just that along the way, sometimes we take on things that really does not match what we're meant to be, and it does not align with the higher representation of ourselves. And it's okay, as long as you can remember to put yourself first, which is hard. And that's why we're here, I guess. I guess you can identify with the fact that you probably haven't done a good job at putting yourself first. And then there's a chance that you have put yourself first, but you're still messing up a few things along the way. So you need to readjust and redirect your vision. That's okay. We can do this. And I'm very proud of you, actually. In case no one has told you that lately, I'm happy that you're here. So as promised, we're going to do a few takeaways from the little book of Stoicism by Jonas Salzgeber. I hope I said that right. It's impossible for me to really read everything front to back, because that would be hours here. But there are a few things that I did take away, and we can probably discuss them a little without making this video too long. So yeah, thank you for being here. I'm Jade. I still suck at introductions, but that's fine. I guess I'll learn along the way, right? To be fair, at first I didn't necessarily identify with Stoicism, because I felt like from the outside looking in, it's just these people who acts like I guess they're better than everyone. That's how it seems at first, and they're nonchalant and whatever. But to be fair, that wasn't the case. It's just that I think I kind of knew that I identified with that philosophy, but I wasn't ready to accept it, because it reminded me of things that I wasn't necessarily at peace with yet, actually. And if I should pinpoint a moment in my life where Stoicism became a thing, then it would have been with my grandmother, actually. She was very calm about things, and even when something has a negative effect, she would try to find the positive in it, and she would be so forgiving and so sweet. And I'm just like, why does this lady keep doing this? And it would aggravate me, because I'm just like, why are you giving people all this grace, all this leisure to just, you know? But as most grandmothers do, they give you a whole parable and things that you can't really decipher in the moment. And it just kind of just angers you, because you're like, lady, just tell me straight what you're talking about. They always tell you that, oh, in time you will know, and I'm like, I don't have that patience, but okay. So we would butt heads a lot, actually. Not because I was rude or anything. It's just the way how she went about life. It just pissed me off because I'm just like, these people are getting on my nerves for you, and you just chill with it. You just calm with it. I'm like, this lady is, yeah. But as much as it bothered me, I think in the same breath I was fascinated by it. She was always about what she can control. So not necessarily being in control of her life, but just not allowing external things to interrupt her peace. Me, I just wanted to be angry all the time. I wanted to fuss and defend her all the time. And she didn't really like that approach. She was always like, it's not necessary, that's too much, I guess, too much right now. But she did have her moments when she snapped, and then I would identify with that because I'm like, all right, that's what I want to see. But after she did it, she would, I guess, take a moment to herself, and she would just sit there in a whole conversation with herself. And I'm like, why are you beating yourself up about some stuff? And she's like, that's not me, really. And I'm like, all right, but I don't see anything wrong with that. So yes, that's a little bit of how I got into this idea of Stoicism. I was fascinated with the fact that she just always resonated with life. It's like she was just flowing, and even on her bad days where she snapped at somebody, she still found a way to navigate things, and it absolutely just bamboozled me. I was like, what? And so yeah, that's where my inspiration came from. And so as time went by, I tried to embody the way that she went about life, so I don't have to be angry all the time. But I'm still pretty angry. So as I said, a lot of things you won't probably want to identify with, at least not right now. Maybe you're at a stage in your life where you just don't want to be logical, and that's fine, because I think I've been that way for a very long time. So yes, I am good at being angry. It's probably one of those emotions that reigns supreme with me. The other emotions are pretty dormant, actually. It's almost like I don't care, which I really don't, but it affects people that I care for, because even though I care, I still kind of don't. And then I don't show it, and then they trip about it, and then I dismiss them, and I detach, and I just exit. And yes, I have a lot to do. Actually, I have some work to do. So if it's your first time here, then I hope that you'd be interested in navigating this journey with us. And us meaning the people who don't necessarily follow the rules, the ones who question everything instead of just accepting it as it is. And because of us being that way, then people kind of look at us like we are just, I guess, rebels. You're rebellious. And it has nothing to do with being rebellious. It's just, I don't conform to the things that you think I should just ignore and just live how you want me to live. Like, that's crazy. So yeah, a few things to um to highlight as we go through this book of Stoicism and our everyday lives, because I'm not asking you to be a Stoic person. That's not what I'm asking. We're gonna be reading books on this channel, and for every book that we read, we're gonna personalize it and view things from different perspectives, because the aim here is to be a better version of who we are right now. So not necessarily that we're diving into the future, but we're learning to live in the present moment, and we gotta accept everything that comes with being in the present moment, and just find a way to not have it consume us. Because really, if we're supposed to let everything consume us, then you lose your identity. You don't even know who you are anymore, and we don't want that. So yes, we're gonna read these books that aids in the benefit of us as a person, and we're gonna share our thoughts on them and why we may not agree with something, or why we implemented this perspective and feel like it's what helps us best. But I guess as we develop this channel, then we'll figure it out along the way, right? So yeah, a few things to highlight as we do this is being aware of our emotional triggers, analyzing our fears, accepting our imperfections, setting boundaries, and enforcing no without explanation. No is a complete sentence still, but oftentimes we get into the habit of explaining why we say no. And to me personally, I've just always felt like if I say no, then it's no. I don't need to give you a reason as to why I'm saying no. There is yes and there is no, and I said no, so why do I need to explain that to you? And people look at it like it's a harsh way of being, and they think it's dismissive. How am I dismissive because I don't want to give you an entire paragraph and an essay about why I'm saying no? But okay. Overall though, I am a pretty dismissive person, so I guess they do have a point, but not for the reason that they think. So we are going to train our minds to be less swayed by negativity and the emotions that comes with negativity. I don't think I view things from a pessimistic point of view. Others in my life would beg to differ, but I just think I look at life like, okay, the positive can happen, yes, but so can the negative. So why is it that you want me to just accept the positive? Life doesn't work like that. A lot of times us as people, we do have a plan and we execute the plan in the mindset that it's always going to be a yes, 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 yes kind of thing. And then when you hear a no, you spiral. You don't know what to do because you never had a backup plan, or you never really, to you, the yes was just clear and it's obviously the only answer. So when you hear no, it's like you're dumbfounded, like how can this be a no? Like everything pointed towards it being yes. And so now you don't know what to do with yourself because the no threw you off guard and you're just lost and confused. Me, I'm the kind of person where I'm preparing for the yes, I'm gonna do the little preparations, but I'm also preparing for the no. I am more shocked should the yes happen, especially if it's for something risky or something like something that you're just like, whoa, I did not expect a yes for that. Then yeah, then the yes will be like, huh? Okay, cool. I had a little plan. I made some reservations in case it was a yes, but I made more plans in the event that is no, because I have the mindset where life is not always going to be my way. And should the no happen, I don't want to spend. I probably shouldn't go down the rabbit hole. But yeah, I do expect people to say yes and no. But when they say yes, yeah, it's of course it's delightful to hear a yes. Of course it's delightful to have something like being done in agreement with whatever you had proposed. But I don't want to be the one that is just left in a daze when the no happened and I didn't have a backup plan. So when it comes to me, I like to make a proposition. I like to have a plan. I'm not the kind of person who just goes about life with the glass half full kind of mindset. Like, yeah, it's half full and cool, but it's also half empty. So, I have to just make plans for that. So sometimes, yeah, people are gonna think you're pessimistic, but I just think, no, I'm preparing for both ways. And yeah, so I guess some of the things that we will have to dismiss is the unhealthy dynamics. And a lot of my dynamics are pretty unhealthy, but I'm working on it. That's the reason why I'm here. And we have to get rid of the victim mentality. Yes, I am aware that sometimes things happen to you and you probably didn't deserve it, but it happened. So why are you just gonna sit there and cry about it every second? I don't have time for that. So me personally, people think I'm a little bit ruthless, and they claim I do not know how to be, what's the word, emotional. And I'm like, what do you mean? Anger is an emotion. I'm good at that. But I won't lie, I am not the best at the other parts that comes with emotions. I'm pretty cold. I'm direct, and I'm intentional. And I mean, I can't apologize for that because that's the way that worked for me. However, what I can do is I can repurpose my focus. I can put myself in another person's shoe and understand from their point of view. I don't think I have a problem with doing that. It's just, I think the way how I go about it may just seem like, girl, you really don't need to be that harsh. But to me, I'm not being harsh, I'm just being blunt, and that's just life. Life comes with blows. So why you want me to sit here and baby you when I'm, I am learning. Now, discomfort is going to be a huge part of growing. It is a part of Stoicism. Stoicism, let me see if I can analyze everything and give you a little backstory. Stoicism is something, it's a mindset and it's a way of life that has been trickled down for like thousands of years, but it's more from the ancient Greek philosophies, where they do believe that people should live for the now. And I think that's where I have gone wrong sometimes, in terms of I'm used to just surviving, I'm used to just breathing, but I don't know how to live, because for me, living was always, all right, this is the goal. I need to do what I can to attain the goal. And now that I have the goal, all right, I'll move on to another goal. And it's not necessarily the best way. Like, I personally don't find anything wrong with that. But I am trying to relinquish some of the control that I actually have over my life. And let me explain. I'm the kind of person who's very calculated. I know what happens next because I know what I let into my space. I know what I remove. I know what I want to partake in, and I know what I want to just throw away. And it means that I'm always in control. I know what happens next. It's on a scale of 1 to 10, 9 out of the 10 times I control what takes place. But what I have also found with that one thing that I may not have control over is sometimes it's not bad. Sometimes it's new and you have no idea how to navigate it. And it poses a challenge. And sure, you can shut out the challenge, but I kind of also like challenges. And sometimes that one thing that happens, it reshapes your mindset, because you realize that you didn't have any control over it, but something great actually came out of it. Like, it started off with your heart probably ripping out your chest, like beating out your chest rather, and you're like, oh crap, I don't know what happens next with this thing. And so you become a little bit obsessed with it, and at the same time fascinated, because you're like, it's not going as bad as I thought it would have probably gone. And then it blossoms into something beautiful. And don't get me wrong, sometimes it does turn out terrible, which is why you have your guards up, and you know. But when it happens and it's beautiful, you're like, huh, this thing that I had no control over turned out to be one of the best things that ever happened to me. And so I changed my perspective on things. Like, cool, of course I want to be in control. No one likes to be fully naked, at least not physically, please. But sometimes nakedness is where you find the beauty of things. And I was pleasantly surprised. It's like moving, for example. I'll use a personal thing. I had to move. Now, did I know that I would move eventually? Yes. I knew that I had to move one day, but I knew that I would have moved on my own terms. And I was in my head about moving, because I'm like, oh crap, this one thing happened outside of my control, I know I have to move, which I know I was going to have to move, but it's happening earlier than expected. And so, based on who I am and how my personality is cultivated, I was just spiraling internally, of course. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I can't, like, you're hyperventilating, but not like you're freaking out on the outside. It's just inside, you're like, oh crap. The thing that I know that I eventually have to do is happening now, and I don't know how to accept that, but I know that I have to do it because I don't have a choice. And I'm like, you know what, chances are I might move and it turns out terrible. And I was kind of banking on it turning out terrible, but I moved and I liked it. It started off rough. Of course, some terrible things happened, but more beautiful things happened following that terrible thing. And so you look at it and you're like, I did not plan for this. I didn't come up with a whole a whole thing of how to, I guess, best deal with it. But it happened. And it was not in my control. And some bad things happened, as I'd have imagined. But the greater things happened as well. And I was just like, this is crazy. If I hadn't moved, I wouldn't have known anything like this great thing that is happening. And it kind of pushed me to just start living. Like, yes, I'm not saying that you should just abandon your morals and values. No. But on this journey, I got introduced to a version of me that I never saw coming. Like, I did not see it coming. And I like it. I like it a lot. And do I have my skepticism? Yes, of course. But at the same time, I released the control over it. And while I released it, I started seeing the beauty of living. And since I started seeing the beauty that comes with living, I'm like, well, what else is there? And so it led me on this path where I would like to get to know myself. And I just figured, let me do a random thing that I wouldn't have done, which is to start this channel and talk to you, because there is a chance that someone out there will identify with the fact that living is not so bad after all. But what I want you to understand is bad things happen, good things happen. But what being stoic has taught me, well, I'm not 100% stoic. There are things that I don't really identify with. But for now, since we're talking about stoicism, what it has taught me is that I do not have control over the external events. What I have control over is how I react, how I respond to them. And I know I will have bad days, and I know I will have things that I don't want to happen, but I guess the good things that have happened has allowed me the opportunity to know that I am I am worth these great things. So yeah, I'm trying to align with my core values. I am trying to get to know this person that I am. Yes, I will still be attaining those goals, but I will dive into the journey of getting there. Because yeah, being at the top is cool, but sometimes you get there and you realize that it's not really what you expected it to be. Like while you were busy chasing the goal, people were living their lives. Another example is my sister, my younger sister. She got pregnant. And for some reason, she thought that I would be mad at her for being pregnant. She's a twin. The other twin, she's like, oh, I can't come to you unless I have everything figured out. And I'm like, what? That's twin number 2 that thinks that. And I'm like, why would you think that? And they're like, because she's like, you're so driven. And I've always aspired to be like you. Because you're a no-nonsense kind of person and you're just about the result. And I just felt like I cannot highlight my failures because you won't accept me. And it really kind of hurt because I'm like, no, I love you just as you are. And with the one that has the baby, she's afraid to tell me that she's pregnant because she thinks that I'm going to be disappointed in who she is. And I'm like, I'm not disappointed. I'm more disappointed that you think that, whatever. But I wasn't disappointed. Of course, I want better for you. I want you to have things figured out so you don't really have to depend on anyone for anything. But I'm not ashamed of you because you got pregnant. That's crazy. I didn't realize the influence I had in their lives. I didn't realize that they felt like they had to be perfect for me to recognize them. So yeah, that kind of sting. But I say all that to say that when I attained the goal, I looked around and I missed the moments with them. They were living and I wasn't there. Not the way that they would want me to, because they think they have to be a specific version of themselves for me to acknowledge them. That's not true. But I am pretty intense, so I guess I can understand that, but that's really not how I think of them. So I was like, you know what? How about I try to live a little so that they can see that it's okay to make mistakes, it's okay to not know what happens next, and it's okay to just exist because that's what I want for them. I want them to just feel like they are enough for me to say, it's okay, I got you, sis. but I did not realize that I made them feel that way. So I'm going to live for them and for myself. I'm going to get to know who I am so that they can understand that I bleed too, you know. And oftentimes I realize that's the reaction I get from people in my life. They think that they have to just have it all figured out before they can approach me. I'm just like, what? So I am applying their criticism. Of course, they don't look at it as criticism, but I think it's a criticism. So I am applying it, and I am readjusting my perspective for them. So I've intertwined it to Stoicism. I've intertwined it with Stoicism to just help me live in the moment so that they can understand that all I want for them is to know that I'm proud of them and I love them. So yeah, I am working on myself using the Stoic approach. And I would like to just express to them that failure does not mean it's the end all be all. Failure just means that you need to recalibrate. But I guess I have to show them that I also fail too, so that they can understand that you don't have to hold your breath around me. You can exhale. And we can do this together. So I guess I'm humanizing myself, because I thought I was pretty human, but apparently not. So yeah, I'm accepting the discomforts that comes with this journey, because that's the only way that you grow. And the only way to get through it is by going through it. I want to remind myself that this is delicate, so I have to be patient with myself. Make notes if I need to. As per the Stoic philosophy, sometimes they suggest that you recap your day with yourself. Like, you can highlight what you did today, and you can pinpoint the good parts of the day just as much as the bad part of the day, and see what you can take away from it, what you can improve on, what you can get rid of if necessary, and I guess just keep fine-tuning yourself until you get there. Also, I did write down a few stuff, because I did read the book, but I wanted to put it in words instead of boring you with just yeah. So, self-care. The Stoics believed in self-care, but not the routine kind of one. It's more of a statement for them. Like, okay, I'm not going to allow myself to just be 100 all the time, but I won't also allow myself to be 0 all the time. So Stoicism is not asking you for perfection. It's just asking you to sometimes step outside of yourself and see life from another person's point of view. Be empathetic. I am not the best with that. Like, to me, I understand things, so you don't have to break it down in simpler forms for me. But even though I understand, I do get bored of the conversation itself. Like, you'll be talking to me and I know that it's hurting you, but I already understand, I've already calculated it in my head, and all right, now what you want me to, what do you want me to do? Like, that already happened. I'm not gonna sit here with you and then cry about it. And I guess that's not necessarily a good thing. Sometimes people just want you to be there. Sometimes they're not looking for a solution. They're just looking for you to show up. At the same time, you have to know when to dismiss things, because you cannot give away your energy. You can't just drain your energy with everything around you that's happening. So while you do want to be there for people, you have to find a way to also limit the connections, in terms of just sucking up everybody's sob story, because you know what, everybody has one. And that's probably mean to say, but I guess there's nothing wrong with just knowing when to cut it off. Know what you can handle. If there are things that are triggering you, that they probably are going through, then of course just respectfully decline or dismiss it. And you can be nice enough to give them a reason, like, hey, I know that this is something that you're going through, and I really do apologize, but I cannot allow myself to go there with you, because it's causing a negative reaction for me, because it's bringing me back to something that I haven't probably dealt with yet, or I haven't overcame it in a particular kind of way yet. And so yeah, you can just politely decline. So you also have to have self-discipline. Some days you won't feel like motivating yourself. You won't feel very motivational anyway. But if you have self-discipline, then you will be fine. It's like going to the gym. In the morning it's probably cold. The night is probably rainy. But you're probably just not in the mood to go. But you have to be disciplined. This is my goal. This is what I'm working towards. So even though I am not necessarily feeling the vibe right now to go get that done, this I cannot deter. I cannot take a detour, I'm sorry, from what my goal is. Okay? Now, I wrote down a lot of things, but I don't really want to make this video too long. So chances are I'll probably do a part 2 to it, because I cannot summarize this entire book in 30 minutes. That's kind of crazy. So yeah, I want to highlight joy and laughter. There's a lot of things in this world that can make you sad, per the Stoics' belief. However, you can also find something to be joyous about. You can find something to be happy about. When you do find that thing, use it, hold on to it, because it's all about perspective. So yes, I have a lot of learning to do. I have a lot of growing to do. So I guess I'll just make a follow-up video about the other things that pretty much comes with Stoicism. But I'm not asking anyone to be Stoic. And you don't have to. That's probably not your thing. However, you might find that you can relate to a lot of the things that they push forward with. And it might be able to take you from a lot of point A's to point B's. And I do think with so many noises of how we should be in this life, I would like for us, for this community, for this support system that we're creating here, I guess I would like for us to mute those noises and listen to our voice. Yes, we have a lot of things that's telling us that we can't attain this and we can't accomplish that. But you see, that once in a lifetime thing that you think only a few people will attain, I want you to look at yourself like you fall in that category of the few people. And I want you to put everything that you got into yourself to be that once in a lifetime opportunity. I want you to defy the odds. I want you to shut out those things that tells you you'll never be enough. I know you don't have anything to prove to nobody, but you have yourself to show that I am the chosen one and I am going to do this. Because I don't know what it's like to live your life. I don't know what it's like to be in your world. Sure, I can have an understanding. We can share similarities, but I'll never fully know because I'm not you and you're not me. But I do believe that it is in our control what we want to be. And anything that you set your mind to, you can do it. So how about you do it one time for the one time? And just be it, you know? So that's what I want to end that on. Thank you for being here. Again, I don't know if I said my name, but I am Jade. And I hope you stick around.